Quick question for you. Do your feet feel better at the end of the day than they did at the beginning of the day? If your answer is no, you're not alone, and the reason is going to surprise you. It's not what Big Shoe has been telling you. Big shoe companies tell you it's because you need arch support or padding or motion control or because you pronate or supinate or your eyes are the wrong color or your mortgage is too high or whatever it is they tell you. What I can tell you is the reason you're not having the comfort and performance that you would like is because your shoes aren't letting your feet do what's natural. Your feet are supposed to bend and flex and move and feel the world, and your shoes aren't letting them do that. I mean, did you know that a quarter of the bones and joints of your entire body are in your feet and ankles? Did you know that you have more nerve endings in the soles of your feet than you do anywhere but your fingertips and your lips? Clearly, you're supposed to be using those things at the bottom of your legs. They're supposed to bend and flex and move and feel. If you don't let them do that job, which is designed for balance and agility and mobility, then all that function they're supposed to do tries unsuccessfully to move upstream into your ankle, your knee, your hip, and your back, which aren't designed for those things. What you want, what's natural, is to let your feet do their job so the rest of your body can do its job. Now, why is it that shoes don't let you do what's natural? Well, just let's take a look at a shoe. Is this the shape of your foot? Check out how pointy that is. If that is the shape of your foot, it's only because you've been shoving them into things like this. That's not a natural foot shape. Your toes are supposed to spread the way your fingers can spread. And if you don't let them, that can shut off the circulation in the bottom of your foot. That's not good. Let's talk about the flexibility of your foot. Okay, hold on. I'm not faking this. All right, that's how much effort it takes to bend this shoe. And look at where it's bending. That's not where your foot bends. You don't have any joints there to bend. Look at the elevation of this heel. That's not natural either. That messes with your posture and can put extra strain on your back. This additional height also makes you kind of tippy. It's like being on stilts. And if you saw Zion Williamson, the basketball player at Duke, he tripped over the edge of one of his shoes, and that led him to blowing out his knee and blowing through one of his shoes as well. Well, low to the ground gives you balance and agility. Being on stilts, not so much. They also weigh a ton, and all of this cushioning, that cuts off all that information that your brain is looking for from the bottom of your feet to know how to effectively, efficiently, and enjoyably move the rest of your body. Now, there's a solution, and I'm going to show it to you, but first I want to address a couple of things that people might say as objections, like, well, I need support. Okay, maybe. Let's take a look. I want to show you something down here. This is an arch. It's one of the most stable structures ever built. If you put pressure on it from above, it gets stronger. Do you want to break an arch? All you have to do is this. Support it from the bottom. Well, guess what? You've got 3 of those arches in your foot. And when you support them, it's just like that. Think about supporting any joint. You put your arm in a cast. Does it come out stronger or weaker after 8 weeks? Weaker. Same thing happens to your foot. Over time, if you don't let it move, it just gets progressively weaker. And this is a case of use it or lose it. And losing it is a big deal. I'll tell you why in a second. But there's also research that just shows this. They put arch support in the shoes of healthy people. Within 10 weeks, they had gotten up to 10% weaker. Their muscle mass in their foot had decreased by about 10%. Imagine what that does over time. Well, you don't really have to imagine it. I can tell you it's what happened to my dad, who was 81. This is about 5 years ago. He'd been in regular shoes. He'd lost mobility and balance and agility. He tripped over a little ledge in a hallway, fell down, broke his hip, and was dead 2 weeks later. Now, I'm not suggesting that's going to happen to you, and you probably can't even imagine that happening to you. But things like this happen many, many times. And again, it's just a case of use it or lose it. Or you might think, you need cushioning. Well, cushioning is very interesting. It can feel really comfortable, but that doesn't mean it's good for you. If I asked you to drop and do 20 push-ups, would you do it on a memory foam mattress, or would you do it on the floor? You do it on the floor. Why? Because that gives you the best force production, the best way to use your body. It's natural. You get the feedback you need to move effectively. Well, it's the same thing with your feet. You don't need to have all that cushioning because you have built-in springs and shock absorbers. They're called muscles and ligaments and tendons. And maybe you haven't used them for a while, so you have to spend a little time to build the strength up in them. But wouldn't you want something that can support you for the rest of your life? Rather than foam that starts breaking down the moment you start wearing it, where you need to replace it every couple 100 miles because it becomes useless? Just a question. By the way, think about that push-up thing again. Notice that you do this when you do push-ups with your fingers. You spread them. You don't squeeze them together because this is stronger and better and more balance and agility and strength. Same thing with your toes. If your shoes don't let your toes do what's natural, you don't have that balance and agility and strength in your feet. Now, before I tell you what the solution is, I want to have you ask you one more question. Have you forgotten what it was like to be a kid on a warm summer day? Where you run outside and you kick off your shoes and you feel the grass between your toes or the water around your ankles or the sand under your feet or the dirt that you're playing in, where you stay out so late it gets so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face or the ball you're trying to kick or hit. Your parents would have to drag you home when just playing was fun. I mean, have you ever seen little kids run? I'm a running coach and I see this all the time. And what I can tell you is it is blissful because they're doing it perfectly. If you catch kids before they get into regular shoes, they have perfect form. Their feet land right underneath their body. They use just the right amount of energy, just the right amount of lean. And they do it with this one weird thing, though. They get this look on their face often. What's it called? Smiling? They do it because they like doing it. There's a track meet here every year where they bring out little kids who will run like the 400 meters, one lap around the track. And there's times where kids will start running and then they'll just stop and sit down when they get tired. And when they're ready to run again, they stand up and they get to the end. And when they cross the finish line, they don't know if they're first or last or anywhere in between, but they all do the same thing. They're like, ah. And we do the same thing because we're remembering how much fun it was to run because it was something that we liked instead of something that was a burden. Now we work out instead of play. And when we work out, we're often doing it inside, which makes no sense. So what's the solution? Well, I can tell you it's, again, letting your feet do what's natural. And the best way to do that, frankly, is by being barefoot. But if you don't want to look like an aging hippie, then you don't want to do that. When my wife, Lane, and I discovered the value and the benefits and the fun and the comfort of doing what's natural, we uttered the 5 dangerous entrepreneurial words, how hard could this be? And we started a business in the most competitive industry in the world, perhaps, and that is footwear. We started Xero Shoes. And Xero Shoes let you get that fun and benefit of natural motion, plus, protection and comfort. So we have casual and performance shoes and sandals that let your feet be feet. I'll show you what I mean. Here's our HFS. So like all Xero shoes, our casual and performance shoes and sandals, wide toe box so your toes can spread and splay and move naturally. Low to the ground for balance and agility. We don't elevate your heel because that messes with your posture. We don't have a thing called toe spring because that messes with your gait. They're crazy, crazy flexible in pretty much every direction that you can think of, so that lets your foot move naturally. They are really, really lightweight. You might forget you even have them on. We've had people who've emailed us saying that they went to bed still wearing their Xero shoes because they forgot they were on, not because they passed out drunk. And the soles, by the way, these give you the right combination of the protection and grip and traction that you need, plus also giving you the ground feedback so your brain knows what's going on at the bottom of your body, so it knows how to make you perform at your best and be comfortable. That's what all Xero shoes do. Now, Lena had this great line. She says, there's enough shoe companies in the world. We don't need another unless your shoes change people's lives. And we are so, so happy that that's the response we get about Xero shoes. They are life-changingly comfortable. They are allowing people to do things they've never done before. Basically, be happy on their feet all day, every day. At the end of the day, you might not only not kick off your shoes, you might forget you had them on, like I was saying before. I'm not a doctor. I can't make medical claims. If you check out the 17,000 plus 5-star reviews that we have, you'll hear so many people telling stories about how they're able to run, walk, hike, do yoga, do CrossFit, lift, do whatever it is that they do in their active or casual lifestyle. And they're doing it pain-free for the first time, maybe ever or in years. I'm not making any promises about your pain going away. I don't know what's going on for you. But let me just ask you this question. Which makes more sense? Letting your body, this amazing just incredible thing, do what it's designed to do, or getting in the way and interfering. There's a reason that we refer to shoes like this as foot coffins. Because again, well, what happened to my dad? The other thing I forgot to mention, comparing Xero shoes to other shoes, just even our sandals. This is a traditional sports sandal. Weighs a ton. Here's our version of that same kind of product. 3 pairs of these weigh less than 1 pair of those. And again, like all Xero shoes, you can roll them up and stick them in your pack or your pocket if you ever decide to take them off your feet. People have used these to through hike the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, the Camino del Santiago. They've run ultra marathons. People have done everything we can think of in our shoes, including things we never thought they would do in our shoes. Dance Dance Revolution champions, powerlifting champions, people who've run 256-kilometer 7-day races across Madagascar. We just started out trying to make something that let you have the fun and benefits of natural movement, and where it's happened since then, or where it's gone since then, we couldn't be happier. Hundreds of thousands of people who discovered the fun and benefits of doing what's natural, of letting your feet be feet. We hope you do the same. Come check us out at xeroshoes.com. feetfirst.com. If you have any questions about our footwear, about natural movement, we and our customer happiness team are here to help because we want you to be able to enjoy this comfort, this performance, basically to live life feet first.